Okay, this is Aurelian, and we're doing a little snapshot of week, well, it's about 20 something. He's 6 months post-op on Monday, which is a few days' time. He's having a few problems with, firstly, sprinting. He's getting a lot of fatigue in the hamstrings, so we're going to work a lot of sprinting drills. This is the point where you have to do bounding and shuttle runs and suicide drills to improve his hamstring. But what we're focusing on today, because he was complaining a lot about stiffness in the knee. So stiffness in the knee in the mornings after training in general, and when he runs, he pulls up stiff. Now, the tightness is in the posterior lateral corner. If you want to jump on the back, jump on your back for me. What we've been working on, he's getting pain in the back here, the back posterior lateral corner of the knee. So when we get him up into here, he's lost a bit of range, so he can't get that full range yet, especially when I screw him into that range, he doesn't like that. So his soft tissues in the back here are very stiff, and that's what needs to be mobilised. So he needs to get in there and loosen up his ITB, especially in the insertion. Come around here for me. Right into that, where that hamstring comes in, this is the one that's working really hard as his biceps for us, whereas ITB comes in into his fibular head. He's actually got really stiff in that fibular head, and that pulling there, so we've actually dragged it forward with a bit of tape. We've loosened up the soft tissues, which will allow him a little bit more range. But that sort of problem gives him that stiffness, so we've been working on that. The other thing we've been working on, have a jump up, is because he's 6 months, he needs to be doing jumping with rotation, okay, or hop with rotation. Now, you'll see in the next few videos, when he hops, his his right knee, when he loads down, so you squat down, he's fine at that point there. When he jumps up, he does this, he rotates in. And a lot of that's due to a little bit of weakness in the knee, insecurity in the knee, but also what's happening up in the hip. So the lack of high level hip stability under load when he jumps. Now this is okay, it doesn't hurt him, but it's a problem when he jumps, because if he jumps in that position, he's typically going to stress load immediately, and that's how people tear their ACLs. So you'll see when we slow that video down, when he jumps, he actually rotates and dives in and then jumps away. When that's going this way, so when he's jumping from here to a box the other way, when he's jumping around the other way, so if you come around this way, when he goes from rotating from here and he's going to jump that way, you'll notice that he wants to get that knee rotating as quickly as possible so he can land. So his first thing he's going to think about is, if you squat down, he wants to get that knee up off the ground quickly, but he's doing it too early. He's rotating too early. So, and you'll see in the video, he actually rotates when he jumps, which is bad. He needs to be jumping up and then using his body movement and his arm strength and his arm movement to actually lift him and rotate him, not rotate off the ground. Okay, so you'll see in this one he's fine, but when he's on this one, he wants to rotate on the ground, which is bad. It's how you tear your ACL. So he needs to be thinking about, okay, keep my knees in line before I jump. Okay, and we've used a band around his knees, you'll see in those videos, where to keep him externally rotated, or at least in neutral, when he's jumping, and then trying to maintain that, and using his momentum of his upper body to actually turn him. So his legs power him up, and his momentum of his upper body turn him, rather than his knee turning him, which is what we don't want. So check that out. So this is going lateral, that's it. And you see how that knee just rolled in a little bit there. Just stand there again for me, Aurelian. So what I'm watching for here is this knee is not allowed to rotate inwards when he squats down before he jumps. So try and get that knee out for me, Aurelian. That's a little bit better, good. So make sure you keep your foot straight. So you go to the higher box. So again, he's got to start, I'll go this one, Aurelian, go this one. He's got to start feet facing there. He can't let his knee rotate inwards before he jumps. That's not bad. Good, good land. And then the higher one. little bit of depth. Can you see how there's a little bit of wobbler going on? That's what we want to focus on. So when he's standing there, we don't want that little wobble in as he jumps. It usually happens when he launches up. So just do that again for me, Ryan. It's not bad. It's a little bit of wobble, but it's not too bad. Okay, here we are using a band to keep those knees externally rotated when he jumps. So let's see how we go with this. Good. Back down again. And one more time. Externally rotating. And go. Alright, go. Good. Here's the band trying to prevent him from rotating on the floor by externally rotating before he jumps. Good. Okay, here we are now doing double leg bounding over a box. So we're going to work on small box right and jumping forward. So away you go. And again. So the key of this is making sure we're having a look at this knee again and making sure it doesn't roll in. Okay, band on. We're trying to maintain neutral with the knees. When we squat, when we take off, and when we land. Away you go. Good, and again. Set. And go. Alright, here's Aurelian trying to get into a modified child's pose position to try and get that little bit of flexion and rotation with the knee. He's struggling with this posterior lateral corner here. A lot of it's to do with the tightness of the ITB, the hamstring, into that tibiofemoral joint, which you can see we've taped that forward to try and stabilise a little bit better. But he needs to work on to get this flexion range better so he stops getting so stiff in the knee after he's doing all his rehab work, bounding work, that sort of thing. Alright, so this is working on the hip flexion with the external rotation or the pigeon stretch. You can see how he's actually trying to get that down by leaning over here. He needs to be over this way a little bit and sliding that left knee backwards. And you can see how much range he's lost through here. And this is something we really need to work on, this sort of in between the 4 to 6 month mark, to try and get a lot more rotation through here and moving through the glute. Otherwise, every morning he's going to wake up with a stiff knee after training, and he needs to focus on getting this obviously down to 90 degrees, sliding that foot back so he gets a lot more range through here. He loosens up in his posterior lateral corner and that ITB that comes in the side here, which frees him up, and that'll give him a lot more movement and a lot less stiffness.